Okay, great. Hi, good morning. I think we're good to start, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So, hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today's topic is how an insecure mobile app can tarnish your company's reputation. I'll be introducing the guest speakers today. We have Hashid, who is the CEO of Atnox. Hashid, you're welcome.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Abhika.
We also have, we also have Harrison, who is joining us today, who is a guest speaker. He's the Chief Information Security Officer at First Bank. Harrison, you're welcome to today's webinar.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. We also have Larry, who is the Group Head for Business from InterSwitch. Larry, you're welcome to today's session. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ebuka and everyone. Hi.
Okay. Yeah. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Ebuka. I'm the CTO of SET Technologies, and I'll give us a brief about SET Technologies, and we can go forward into today's topic. SET Technologies is a design technology company that delivers last mile quality solutions and novel solutions to African organizations, as well as organizations outside Africa. We pride ourselves in delivering eccentric solutions to different industries as well. With a strength of 307 skilled consultants across 6 countries, we deliver last mile solutions without any industries. Going forward on today's topic, how you can deliver, how an insecure mobile app can tarnish your company's reputation, we have our moderator, who is the CEO of Apnox, Hashid, who will be taking us on today. Today's goal is directed towards making a cultural shift from DevOps to DevSecOps within African organizations. We have developers today building mobile apps and not actually securing them, or securing them in a way that you still have vulnerabilities that can allow hackers to actually get information from mobile apps that are in today's marketplace. So at the end of this webinar, or during the course of this webinars, questions will be accepted, and then a recorded version of this webinar will be available for you to actually take another view of it. Thank you very much. So over to you, Hashid.
Thanks a lot for introducing me and setting up the webinar. So welcome everybody. I'll quickly introduce myself, followed by a brief introduction by other panelists, so that before we jump into the session, everybody has got a brief on who all are there as the panelists. So I'm co-founder and CEO at Apnox. We are a mobile application security testing platform that enables enterprises, companies to secure their mobile applications. We have worked with more than 300 organizations globally to secure their mobile application. And overall, we are enabling mobile app security for some of the Fortune 2000 companies across the globe, and also some of the biggest enterprises in African region. So I'm very glad to come and speak more about why application security is important and how we at Apnox can help with that. So today, along with me, we have Harrison Naji, who is Chief Information Security Officer at First Bank. So Harrison has accomplished data and information security. He's accomplished data and information security strategist and practitioner since 13 plus years. And with this solid experience in the conception, engineering, design, delivery, operation, and optimization of cybersecurity, data, and information security, it's very glad to I'm very glad to have him along with us. And along with that, we have Landry, who is Group Head of Mobile Financial Services of InterSwitch Group. Landry is a senior technology and banking operation leader with proven results in driving transformation, digitizing operations for efficiency, and seamless customer experience. So creating business value from solutions that impact the bottom line, a transformative and visionary business leader. So again, glad to be along with Landry as well for this discussion. So yep, a quick intro from Harrison and Landry will also give everybody more idea on it, and then we can jump on with today's panel discussion that we have further. Yep, Landry, if you can give a quick intro about yourself, will be great.
All right, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
All right, thank you. My name is Landry. I currently work at InterSwitch as the group head of mobile. Just as you said, we have the mobile financial services portfolio, working with more than 40 financial institutions within Nigeria and across Africa. We currently have presence in about 14 African countries, serving directly more than 22 million customers. And I mean, I'm happy to see Rome, biggest customer now it's to deliver their more. I've in technology now about 14 years, and cumulatively I have an 18-year career spanning business, marketing, and customer management. I could say. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Also, Harrison, if you can also give a brief intro, and then we'll jump on the panel discussion.
Yes, my name is Harrison, and I am the group CISO for covering our operation in Nigeria, some African countries, and other places we have a presence. And my breadth of service covers cybersecurity, cloud management, SOC services, and a lot of other stuff. And I have developed some level of knowledge, skills, a number of emerging and established technologies. So happy to be here. I'm also a user of AppNox. So I'm happy to be in this discussion. And for some of us, I always know that we're not going to say new, that we can reprogram the message in such a way that we can create useful cases. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Harrison. Awesome, great. So let's jump into the panel discussion. So thanks a lot, Landry and Harrison, for joining us for the panel discussion today. First question I have is from Landry to understand. So Landry, if you can help us with an example of a new technology you want to implement at InterSwitch for information security that you think is very, very important as we are heading into the next generation of changes overall the industry is going through. So would be good to get your thoughts on what are some example of new technologies that you think one as an enterprise CISO or anybody who takes care of enterprise security needs to look at.
All right. I mean, like I said when I was introducing myself, the business that I'm responsible for at InterSwitch. Sorry, can you hear me? I just need to confirm.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, you're.
All right, cool. So the business that I manage at InterSwitch is the mobile business, and what that means is that I typically build mobile banking apps for bank partners within Nigeria and across Africa. And from a security solution perspective, I mean, there are always options. There are always technologies out there that support the delivery of qualitative mobile banking apps. On some side, we're always looking for authentication, authorization solutions on the front end, because today some of the biggest gaps within the security architecture that we're seeing. There are man-in-the-middle attacks that are, separating people from their assets and depriving people of their finances. So we are always looking for partners that we could work with to be able to deliver solutions that will make sense to partners like First Bank. So on one side, we're always looking for additional authorization. Up until recently, it used to be that everybody did passwords or PIN. But today we know that security has gone beyond just password and pins, right? So today, some of the things we're seeing in the market, we're seeing biometric authorization and authentication. But we're seeing more options, okay, from an authorization, from an onboarding perspective. We're always looking for solutions. But that's at the consumer end. At the back end, where the code integrity are concerned, we're also always looking for solutions that would help us track if we're susceptible to data leaks, if we're able to review our codes to be sure that they're secure. Beside the fact that we're writing codes and we have multiple teams. My business is supported by teams across 3 continents in maybe 6 locations. And a lot of the time they are writing codes concurrently. So one of the jobs we have to do is to ensure that our codes are safe, but not just safe, we are monitoring all of the codes before we push out. I will end with this. You are an expert, so you maybe know this more than me. The biggest attraction for cyber criminals is maximum impact. And it doesn't come any bigger than financial institutions that we serve. And so for us, everything that helps us to protect our customers that are banks and to help them protect their customers that are users are always what we're looking out for. So not just on the customer end, but on also our end as the code writers. We'll always be looking for solutions that can help us in that respect. Thank you.
Yeah, I think overall the customers' information or that you are already coding at your end is very, very critical. I'll come on that question. But before that, since you also brought the point of mobile app security, I would also like to understand from Harrison, since Harrison, we have been working with you, how do you really handle security risk assessment for your mobile application from end till the entire life cycle? If you can give a brief idea on that, and what are some of the best practices that people over here can take?
Yes, I have requested that my mail questions be moved downward. I speaking in a management forum. Just move my questions down. I should be available in 10 minutes.
Sorry?
Move my questions down. I'll be available in 5 minutes. Just move my questions.
Okay, sure. No issues. So meanwhile, Landry, so you just now mentioned that overall customer data and all is very interesting and is very, very important. So what steps are your organization taking to build safe and secure mobile applications, very specifically, that garner trust from the consumers? Because if the app is not secured, then we have seen a lot of cases where users stop using the app if there is any kind of attack in our kind of industry. So what steps are your organization taking care of so that you can have that trust in your customers that your app is safe and secure?
My mic was muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Landry. Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. So, from our end, there are multiple initiatives to guarantee security, right? Before maybe 2010, technology was not delivered with security in mind as a default. So typically what we had was people built technology solution or infrastructure, and then after they have delivered it, they start thinking of how to secure it. And so we used to have a lot of gaps because it's like building a house, and then after the house is ready, you now start thinking, how do I secure the house? You are too late already. So today, not just at IntoSwitch and also not just in the mobile space, we're building technology into the process, or we're trying to build technology, because I'm not sure you would ever completely deliver on that. From a development perspective, we're implementing some end-to-end processes that is helping us from a framework that allows us to deliver multiple codes, but in a structured way where all of the codes are monitored, all of the codes are supervised. And when we align our branches in coding, you probably understand that more than I do. When we align, we do things like oversight and quality checks on all the codes to be sure that they're not just secure, but they meet the standards for delivery. That's number one. Number two, and this started more recently, one of the things that we're seeing is that security is fast evolving, and what we knew last year is no longer as, they are obsolete today because there are new security challenges. And so we're sending, as a matter of fact, before the end of this month, we're supposed to send some different representatives from the different technical teams to attend security trainings, just to be aware of some of the trends, some of the things that are happening so that we can better prepare. That is number two. Number three is something that we've been considering for some time. Part of our security process is to ensure that not only our codes working, but they meet the standards of security, confidence, and assurance. And we've been thinking about, exploring the possibility of getting a solution that will help us not just make the work of QAs, our quality assurance people, easy, but will also empower them to be able to deliver apps that meet standards of quality. So we're, exploring code monitoring solution, exploring security check solution, security evaluation solution that will be infused into the QA process, so that we're not just taking functional competencies of our applications. We're also going to be able to check if there are possible security breach points, if there are possible data breach points and data leak points, so that we can be more proactive about security. So I would not say it's a single initiative. I said earlier that we're partnering with other solutions company. We've been talking to Thales, and we have their partnership today to roll out some of their solutions within our hub. So it's multiple initiatives to be able to roll out products and services that partners like First Bank and others will feel more confident in our capability to support them, and we can continue to grow our business. So it's multiple things working together really at InterSwitch.
I completely agree, Andre. And ideally, I think if you are into building not only mobile, but the entire application ecosystem, or everything that is customer facing, you need to have all three of it in place. One is definitely the checks have to be at as early as possible. So ideally, it is said that the earliest security vulnerability is detected, the time to fix it decreases exponentially at every stage. At like creating the first plan of what the application will look like. If you start looking at security from that perspective, then at the end, the overall time to fix will be very, very less compared to if you are fixing it once the app is released, which ideally used to happen earlier. But I think enterprises are now moving to more and more integrated security process, or DevSecOps, integrating the security into DevOps process, or whatever internally the team follows. Along with it, training is also important bit, because I think that the security as a landscape is changing every second. So I think we need to make sure that our team are well aware of what is happening on that side. Still, I'm sure, Laundry, there might have been occasions where the hackers have gone a step ahead and probably a breach has happened, which happens with every org, including us. So what is the first question you ask when a breach occurs internally with your team, when you're brainstorming on that? So what is that first question that you ask in that discussion if anything like that happens?
That's an interesting question, right? In fairness, I've been at InterSwitch now about 2.5 years. And since I've been, the incidences of breaches that we've had has not been on our end. I would explain our model. We have two major models from an infrastructure perspective of how we deliver the apps, okay? The apps that we support our partners with. The first one is that we build and deliver the application into your own environment. So your bank or your institution is responsible for infrastructure management, security of the infrastructure, and all of those. And where we come in is to ensure the integrity of our codes, right? And even if we're going to be managing or supporting you, you have to give us some virtual access also be able to access the infrastructure. So a lot of the time in that model, we really don't have a lot of problems. And I will not kid you, we've had a few incidences within that environment. Typically, we know it is not our code problem because we've not had that experience. So my first question would be, do we have an impact? Do we have an impact from a financial impact? Because when you're dealing with financial institutions, this is how they evaluate risk. First, they evaluate as the customers lost money. If the customers have lost money, then the brand of the financial institution potentially stands to suffer because customers will complain. And when customers complain, then the bank is also under some regulatory obligations to notify the regulators. And so there are potential regulatory exposures and then maybe fines and all that. So if there's an issue within that environment, I mean, the first question I'll be asking is, do we have customers exposure? Have the customers lost some money, right? I'm typically asking that. But if it's the second scenario where we build mobile banking apps for banks within our infrastructure, then, I mean, the first question I'll be asking is, what went wrong? Is it the code? Is it the environment? Is it, I mean, what happened? So a lot of the time, that's what I will be asking. And frankly, I've not had that experience. But in the first scenario, there's been 2 or 3 experiences where typically we know there is an infrastructure environment or an environmental issue. And my first question would be, do we have significant customer exposures? Because then, I mean, the bank stands to suffer some reputational damage, some regulatory exposures possibly, and of course, management will not be happy with everyone.
Yeah, I think especially for highly regulated industries, it becomes very, very critical, and especially around banking where there is a direct revenue loss. First, I think it is understanding what kind of damage has happened, and then damage control kicks in. I'm sure in your experience in last 10 plus years, you have come across a lot of places where there were insecure apps. So how do you think that insecure applications can result in downfall of an organization, where I think apps are very, very critical for that org? So yeah, what are your thoughts around that, Landry?
I think we can let Harrison take that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Harrison, are you back?
Yes, I can take questions now. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. So Harrison.
Ask the question. Yeah.
Yeah. Should I repeat the question, Harrison?
Yes.
So, so how do you think insecure applications can result in a downfall of an organization? Definitely reputational damage is there, but there are a lot of other aspects to it as well. So what are your thoughts around it in your experience, 13 plus years of experience, Harrison? You might have come across organizations who have insecure applications.
Okay, so let me speak to it from insecure mobile application or insecure general applications. I think insecure general application, the knowledge is a bit more commoditized now. But mobile application is where people are still not paying adequate attention. But if you realize that mobile is the new face of e-commerce, okay? If you don't have any mobile app to your e-commerce today, and you still ask people to go online, it may be difficult. You won't be able to drive the level of value that you need. So, but when it comes to mobile applications, there are a few things that people need to pay attention to, okay? Which is, one of them is insecure communication. So making sure that the communication from the mobile app to the backend servers are secure, okay? Then encryption issues, okay? You reverse engineer a mobile app, you see things you shouldn't see because the sensitive data have not been encrypted. You also have insufficient authentication and authorization controls. That's another major issue that we have seen in mobile apps. Then you have things like reverse engineering. So people set up and upload their mobile app. Then when you download it, you can actually unpack it and be able to make changes and redeploy it and then be able to cause havoc. Okay. Then also there's also the client code security, which is also very key. Then insecure data storage. So these are some of the key vulnerabilities that you can find on a mobile app. In terms of what damage can it cause, I think the damage is very obvious. Let me give you an example. Even insecure the distribution of mobile app is also a major issue, right? Because you can create a mobile app and drop it on a store. Someone can take it, repack it, and drop it in another store. They understand. Then if people download that, they can actually be impacted negatively. They can. So in terms of impact is all over there. It's same impact, a similar impact you will get with most of the breaches that you will see. Is it loss of revenue? Is it illegal repercussions? Is it reputational damages, regulatory sanctions, loss of data, disclosure of confidential information? Those are some of the major impact that you can experience if you allow cyber criminals to impact, hack, or take over your mobile application landscape. Okay, so those are some of the major issues that you will experience. Thank you.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Harrison. So Harrison, you are one of the user at AppNox, and where we provide you the VAPT services for mobile applications. So what do you think about AppNox, and how do you think companies like AppNox be part of the CIO's or CISO's strategy in securing overall the entire bit for enterprises like yours?
So I come from that school of thought that cybersecurity is no longer what you like a strategy that you go and you go and take up a weekend to know how will you do cybersecurity. Right? I think cybersecurity has gotten to the level of maturity where it's ingrained in the culture of an organization. Okay, where it has become part of the business. I once had a conversation where someone said, for example, oh, I want to go live because I don't have time. I wouldn't have time to remediate the vulnerabilities. We are running against that. I said something very simple. You actually don't have a service if that service is not secure. Do you understand? So you can't go to a market with a service that you know is not secure because you don't have a service, you have a trap for customers. Do you understand? So the person now quickly say, oh, is that what I say? Yes, it's not service if it's not secure. So I think CIO, CISOs need to begin to ingrain the culture of secure computing in their practices. And one of the ways you can easily do that is to always ask yourself, is it functional? Is it secure? And not just is it functional, okay? Because functionality without security is actually more like a trap for customers. It's just who will step in it, okay? So, and then also begin to have more of partnership than control. Like seeing the assurance functions or the security functions as partners rather than control points. The point you get before during immigration before you get into a country. That's different. When you say as partners, what you now begin to gain is that you have a situation where you can know what needs to be done, even at design stage, at conception stage, and you can build it into the system. Then it begins to appear like it's seamless. Okay? And for AppNox is doing very well in that space, in the mobile application assessment space. But I tell people today that beyond the automated assessment of any solution, whether mobile or the web applications or the logic applications that we deploy within enterprises or over the cloud, you should also have expertise to do manual assessment, because there are so many things that will have come up when you are doing automated authentication, automated assessment. Things like concurrent logon will have come up. some broken authentication will not come up. You understand? You need to be able to open the code yourself or open the application and check for those vulnerabilities. So you do the automated and you do the manual. Then you say, at least at that point in time, you've done all you need to do to be able to make sure that you provide a secure application. So Apnos, yes, very fantastic. And we've been enjoying a lot of support since we onboarded you. I think we onboarded you like about 3 years ago. And we have also, for people that know, most of our mobile applications have also been rated as very secure. Okay. I'm not saying go and start trying to break it, but I'm saying, yes, we're doing a lot more than we are doing today to make sure that we offer our customers secure services. And Apnos has been a partner in that. So CIOs to think secure and think functional at the same time to be able to continue to retain their roles and deliver the right services. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Harrison. So I have a last question for both of you. We are running out of time, but before that, any advice for company that is thinking afresh? So I think Harrison, you just now mentioned that there is something called as cybersecurity maturity, where companies are at different stage. So if you assume that I am a CISO of an org who has not really thought on building any of the practices, and I'm starting afresh. So how do I look at that bit overall? And it's a question for both Abhika and Harrison. Probably if Abhika, you can start first on how I should treat this and how I should look at overall building that cybersecurity maturity and plan that out for next 1 to 2 years if I want my organization to improve on all pointers on cybersecurity. You're on mute, Abhika, in case you're saying something. Oh, sorry, I'm talking about laundry. Sorry, my bad, laundry. I'll start with laundry first. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. I mean, I think Garrison did a great job of maybe structuring the journey, right? And that's what I hear from you with respect to what the journey should be. I think clearly an assessment of where an organizational maturation is maybe the first place to start. I mean, generally today in the world of tech, that's what we all do. Not just from a security perspective, but I mean, you see organizations doing their data maturity, they are doing their culture. I mean, maturity assessment is typically the first thing to do, and whatever the organization and wherever they may be in their journey towards their digital transformation, I mean, an assessment is always high value. Of course, from the assessment, it tells you, I mean, if you're in stage 1 or stage 2, then it helps you to understand, I mean, what are the primary needs of the stage that you're in. But following an assessment, you would find that you have infrastructure needs, and then you want to start to explore capabilities that can meet those infrastructure needs. Like some of the thoughts he shared. I mean, if it is tools to monitor in an automated way, then you buy the tools. If it's a process, then you put into the process. If it's partners, then you put in the partners. But typically, you would find that, I mean, there's always a solution out there that helps you to close the gap. I mean, whilst I was inquiring for my team, I saw that we could be acquiring another completely different solution just to monitor leaks. I mean, typically what people do with data leaks or security leaks is that many people react. But just checking up, I realized you can actually proact with leaks. Just, I mean, a leak monitoring solution, and you can deploy it in your system, your CI/CD, such that is helping you to track whatever it is that you're delivering. So definitely there will be infrastructure gaps to fill. Of course, a lot of the time, the biggest jump that organizations need to make are actually cultural and behavioral things to change. I mean, when Garrison was speaking earlier, he talked about the fact that building security turning security into a cultural conversation. And I would agree with him because, like I said, First Bank is our biggest partner. And today we do something that we do code testing. And then we've synced the security evaluation process into our delivery process. Unlike before where we just deliver and then somebody's going to move over to his team to help us test what we have delivered. We're now syncing and integrating the process in a way that allows us to deliver more efficiently. And the biggest difference is just cultural. We've just decided to do things slightly differently for us to be able to deliver more. Of course, you would find that you need more partners. I mean, it talked about AppNox. You would always find that with security, all of the competencies will not converge in one partner. That's what we have seen at InteSwitch. No matter how great the partner is, we find that some partners are very good with authentication solutions. I mean, I was reading up about additional layers of authorization in hardwares that some people are coming up with. I mean, our regular partners don't do that because what everybody does is softwares, soft authorization. But today you'll find that some partner will be good with hardware, some will be good with software. So when you find that you've identified what you need, then you'll be able to talk to the partner that can help you close those gaps, and then you continue to build, because you'll never get to a point where you are ultimately secure and then you are not susceptible to cyber threats. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Andre. So Harrison, what are your thoughts? How you would help how as a new CISO into security or probably an unsecured org, how I can build my strategy for the same?
Yeah, so I would say first is that we, as a CISO, you must understand the business that your organization is doing. That's the first principle.
Yeah.
You must understand the business your organization is doing.
Yeah.
Second, you must take inventory of your digital estate. Okay. You know whether you have third parties, you have cloud presence, you have on-prem. Okay. Third, you must understand your threats. What are the threats that your business is facing? Okay. You must assess the available controls. Okay. Available controls. You must understand what are the residual risks or residual threats you need to be aware of. Then you need to be able to build a security roadmap or intervention roadmap. Okay. When you finish this, that will immediately position you on where you are on maturity. Okay. So you can call it heat map. It will position you on where you are on maturity. Are you on 1, or you on 2, or you on 3, or you on 0, or you're on 50? Okay. Then you build what I call an intervention roadmap. Intervention roadmap will also include you also need to include how you are going to be able to build the intervention. Do you have the resources? Are you going to do a homegrown response? Are you going to do partnerships? Okay. Are you going to do what? So these are conversations the CISO must have with the stakeholders and with himself. Okay. It is always better when you do those analyses. That will immediately show you what to start with. Because I tell everyone that when you are bleeding, it's not the time to heal. Okay. It's the time to stop the bleeding. Okay. You stop the bleeding, you heal the wound, then you heal the scar. That's the sequence. Okay. And that gives you charge to know that, yes, I'm aware of what you're talking about, that we are going to only be ready for it in 2025, because there are 1,000 things that we need to do first. So it's all, when you have those conversations, you have what I call transparency on your security posture and understand what is breaking and where you need to go first. That helps a CISO or an organization know where they are. It can also go down to even whether you have policy, whether you have a strategy. Those things will help you drive your policy and your strategy and help you do the necessary awareness to be able to grow what I call the human firewall, which is your enterprise, which will come into play when every other thing or any other thing fails. but you must understand the business and your digital estate for you to start, and the threats you're dealing with, and the controls you have in place, and the residual threats.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think understanding where you are and then creating the plan is the right approach.
So I'll just go on what Larry said and what Harrison said as well. You know, the first thing is actually understanding the enterprise and understanding your business. Also, like what Larry said as well, you have to make that cultural. You know, we're trying to make organizations know this is a cultural shift. That cultural shift from DevOps to DevSecOps is what organizations in Africa mostly need to start looking forward to. And like Harrison said, it needs to be added to companies' policies. IT organizations have different policies which they roll out year in, year out. They also need to add this to their policies in terms of security and how do they go about when they are taking on new projects or new products. What are the securities in place? What are the securities that have been tied to? And how are they going to mitigate any challenges that they actually face on? So that is something that has to be put out there, making that cultural shift from DevOps to DevSecOps. Then in terms of CI/CD, the solution actually integrates for continuous integration and development. For a few questions I've been saying from my side that people have been asking me over the years, it actually integrates to CI/CD for continuous integration and development. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ebuka. And thanks a lot, Harrison and Landry. I think I'm sure I personally learned a lot on how to look at security, and I'm sure everybody also got a lot of pointers that we all can work on. So coming to the next bit where we'll talk about AppNox offering. So I would request people to stay along. I'm quickly sharing my screen. We have 15 more minutes. I'll try to wrap it up in 15 minutes. In interest of everybody's time. So let me quickly share my screen and get started with AppNox demo.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Harrison. Thanks, Landry.
Yeah, thank you, too.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Harrison.
Yes. So I think my screen is visible. Presenting AppNox, we are a mobile app security company, as I'd mentioned at the initial start. So we have a platform offering that can help you secure your applications. Okay, so let me quickly showcase you how exactly AppNox platform works. So this is the brief dashboard where you get idea of how all of your applications at the enterprise are doing. You can go ahead and upload the binary of your application. So let me quickly upload one of the binary of the application and start the testing. We have 3 major steps of testing. Wait. Let me quickly upload the application as well. Yeah, so this is one of the binary that I'll be uploading. So it's very simple to do. You just go ahead and upload the app. There are other ways of uploading the binary. We also integrate in CI/CD process where we can integrate in your DevOps tool or DevOps cycle. And as and when app is getting built from your development tool, it can be auto pushed to AppNox engine as well as part of CI/CD. So once the binary is uploaded, the first stage of testing starts, that is static application security testing, where we briefly check for security issues in the application. So if I go ahead and check, we can see that static scan has started. So in static scan, we majorly look at configuration level issues, majorly around permissions and what all access you have given on your app. And accordingly, we highlight what are high, medium, critical issues in your application and the past issues as well. So you get to know what are some of the issues that your team has to work on. So it will take hardly 2 minutes for static scan to get completed. Ideally, you can complete all 3 stages of automated testing, that is static, dynamic, and API within 30 to 45 minutes. Manual scan is the PT service that we offer, which is optional in case you have your internal team. Then the automated results can help your internal team take up the results and work on it. In case you want our team to work on it, we have PT as a services, penetration testing as a services, which you can initiate from here. So the scan has already started, and we can see that static scan is progressing. Meanwhile, as you can see on the dashboards, we have something called a generate report, which will be generated once any part of the testing is done. So we can generate the report and download. I'll give a quick walkthrough on that at the end of the session. So we can see we have detected few issues. One of it is critical, 3 highs, 3 mediums, and couple of low issues. So these issues, one can just click on any of these and check what is the particular issue that it is talking about. For example, I've clicked on network security misconfiguration. So it describes a brief about this particular issue. What is the business implication, how it can impact your business? What is the regulatory compliance? Some of us follow OWASP, some of us follow PCI DSS, or the other compliance depending on which vertical we are in. So we showcase some of the compliances depending on that, which you can use and then understand how critical this application is for you. From here, we also mentioned where we have found the issue. More details of it will be in the report that I'll showcase at the end of the session, where it will cover how you can go ahead and fix those issues as well. The second stage of testing is one of our key differentiator, and that makes us unique apart from any other scanner that you have seen. So is that these are real devices that we run the dynamic scan in. So you can select which device, which version you want this app scan to run on, and you can enable API capture. What this will do is this will enable APIs along with request and response that you are sending to the app. So let me go ahead and initiate the dynamic scan. Yeah. So I've just initiated the dynamic scan. So we'll see the device loading pretty soon. Yeah. So it's getting started. And we can see the device has been launched. So just a minute. Yeah, so now we can see that the app has loaded. So these are real devices. You can go ahead and interact with the application. As you are doing that, our scanner scans what is happening at device level. If anything is getting stored in memory dump or in a local client side of the device, or what are the requests that are being sent to the server, what are the responses coming, how secured are those APIs and all. So all of that gets captured over here and can be tested over and above. So what I'll do is I'll just try and run all the features. So if you have a banking app, similarly, you'll get a login screen where you can log in and perform transactions on the screen. While you do that, our engine constantly looks for security issues automatically, and it detects security vulnerabilities on the application on ongoing basis. So it's very simple to use because you just have to interact with your application. And once you're done with that interaction, our platform would have detected all possible security issues that can be detected automatically in your application. What gets covered in dynamic is very limited to client side. What gets covered in API scan is what might be happening in request responses and API endpoints. So it is more of server side testing as well. So that gives the complete exposure of your application. So thus we can perform a very in-depth and detailed assessment on the mobile application. Again, we are very much focused on the niche of mobile app security. That makes us one of the leaders in mobile security when anybody talks about. So yeah, we can see dynamic scan is done. So as soon as you complete the dynamic scan, you will see the results of dynamic scan over here with all security vulnerabilities also mentioned over here. So we see we have found 5 medium issues. So it includes issues like storing information in shared preference, derived crypto keys, if you're not using correct encryption key, or if you're storing any information in shared preference. And again, we talk in similar format that what is the business implication, how this issue can impact you as a business, what are regulatory compliances that are important for any of the highly regulated company, followed by a brief about the issue. Yeah. So this is how the dashboard works. The last stage of automated testing is API security testing. So if I click on API scan, we'll get to see the list of all the collected API endpoints. and we can just start the API scan on these endpoints. In case I don't want any of the API to be tested, I can just remove it. In this case, I'll just go ahead and select it. API scan takes roughly around 25 to 30 minutes. So I won't be able to showcase on this demo, but ideally we check for some of the issues like if there is possibility of, wait, it's just loading. Yeah, if there is a possibility of general server vulnerabilities, or if I can do command injections, or if I can do LDAP injections. So all of those are covered in API scan, which are more of server side of security vulnerabilities. And the issues will get reported over here in similar format. The last stage is manual scan, which is done manually, as I mentioned. So we need server details, and after that, our team performs in-depth manual assessment. In manual scan, we majorly look at business logical flaws that cannot be automated and are very specific to your business case scenario. So in case that is also relevant, our team has expertise in mobile security, very specifically for Android and iOS. So we cover all possible business logical flaws while doing a manual assessment on the application. Let me quickly generate the report as well. So once you generate the report, you can download and check the report. Now, report is very exhaustive. That covers, these are password protected reports, and they cover all possible security flaws that how exactly your team can fix these security issues, and how does it impact your business in more detailed format. So let me quickly showcase you how that report looks like. Meanwhile, if anybody has any question, it would be good. You can just go ahead and raise your questions. We'll be happy to take it up before we come at the end of the session. I'll showcase the report once it is opened.
So we have a question from Martin asking what the mobile app breach rating is. I think you can take that, Rashid.
Yeah. So mobile app rating, when I say, is majorly on CVSS score. So CVSS is CVSS version 3.0. So it is a globally followed standard that we follow, and the rating depends on that particular rating of where it stands. So CVSS looks at roughly around 8 or 9 parameters, and overall gives the rating on that particular vulnerability. How critical is it? Anything upwards of 9 on the scale of 10 goes for critical. 7 to 9 stands for high. 5 to 7 is medium. 3 to 5 is low. 1 to 5 is low. So that's how the ratings generally stand at. Yeah, I think there's another question. Okay, I'm facing some issue with my laptop. Yep, invalid password. Let me just copy the password again. Yeah, now it's fine. Yep, so this is how our report looks like. So we briefly talk about what the issue is, what are the vulnerabilities, audit details. Then as you can see, every issue we mention non-compliant code example, why this issue might be there, compliant code example, business implication, how it can impact your business, and some related vulnerabilities that your team can use and work on fixing the issue. So this is the brief menu. Once I go in detail, it will talk about report summary. So over here, we talk about each of the vulnerability with a criticality over here. And these all are CVSS score of each of the issue, followed by past risk. We generally check for upwards of 150 odd test cases in these automated tests. Then over here in rating, we generally rate it with respect to how many critical, medium, low, high, and past issues you have, and then give you a rating that, okay, how much unsecured your application is. This is against the global standard as well. against whatever apps you have scanned, and where do you stand with respect to it. Then if we come to any of the issue, we give a brief on what this issue means. So network security misconfiguration, what it actually means for the mobile application. Regulatory compliance, then we tell you risk assessment in detail, what this particular issue and where have we found it. Non-compliant code example gives you an idea on what you might have coded in wrong way. And compliance solution will give you an idea on what you have to put over there to avoid this particular issue. Followed by business implication and some related vulnerabilities that have been mentioned in global libraries. So this is how our report looks like. Sorry, I think I clicked on one of the issue. So this is how our report looks like. Now coming to one of the question that is there. Just a second. Yeah. Which sector is mostly affected? You seem to be more interested in financial. What about healthcare, data, and other sector? So Martin, I personally feel that every sector is impacted by security breach, and mobile has become very, very important for any kind of organization. Not only financial sector. That's one of the reason why when we mention issues, we also cover HIPAA compliance, which is more on healthcare. We cover GDPR and other compliances as well. If your application is impacted by other compliances, we can add those compliances as well. So our platform is more vertical agnostic. It is more around if you have mobile as one of the important factor and you are collecting any critical information or customer information, then you need your application to be secured. Coming on question from Mary on what are your plans for East Africa? I think we are already present and working with a lot of African banks. We have customers, active customers in regions like Tanzania, Nigeria, and other places. So I would be happy to have a word, and definitely I think we are very, very actively working with our partners over there. So in case you have any of the requirement, you can reach out to them directly or us, and we will connect you with them. So happy to jump on more detailed discussions if you have requirement on those lines. So Martin, we do cover other compliances as well, and we are very keen to cover more compliances as and when we start getting into more industries. But mobile security in general is vertical agnostic and has to be taken care by all the applications. Yeah. Yep. So this is how our platform works, and API scan is done. So let me quickly walk you through issues detected in API scan. Yep. So we have detected SQL injection vulnerability in HTTP request and CORS wildcard vulnerability in HTTP headers, and 3 low issues and a lot of past issues that we can see. So yeah, this is, and if you open any of the issue, we will see again the brief, and also not only brief, but in detail, the request response and APIs and where exactly have we found the issue. So this will help your developers get an understanding on what they have to fix and why this issue is there. And the report will further help you additionally on working on that particular part. So this is how AppNox works. We do have a lot of integrations. So if you go to Marketplace, we integrate with a lot of CI/CD platforms. In case you're working with other CI/CD platforms, ours is an open API, so we can help you build those integrations and integrate AppNox in whatever is your current development model and be a part of it. So yes, I'm more than happy to get on a call, and we are more than happy to do that along with you. So yeah, if there is any question, I can take it up, or else we are good.
Questions, we can have them on the chat for the
and
next 3 minutes.
Yeah, and in case you want to reach out, I think Ebuka and the team at CED Technologies has been working with us since a while. So we'll be more than happy to take it up. You can reach out to CED and the team, and they will take it up along with us. So we are very closely working with them, and this is something that we will take up from there. Yeah. So on question of Mary on what happens if I lose the phone, considering that it has organization data. So I think MDM is the platform that helps on that side, where you can wipe off all data, and that is something that a lot of enterprises, a lot of cybersecurity companies offer. That does not fall under what we do. We are more into, if you build your mobile application, we can help you secure it so that if you are taking any of the customer data, interacting with it, working around it, is completely secured. So we'll help you keep your mobile application secured. So yeah. Awesome. I think we are good, Abhikar.
Yes, I don't think we have any more questions. A recording of this session will be made available on both the SetNet Technology website and the Appnox websites post the event. So
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for joining. I must say special thanks to our guest speaker, Harrison. Thank you very much. Larry, thank you very much for joining as well. I think we just have one question. Can we have the report?
Yes. So Martin, we can do a sample report. Not only that, we also have a POC model. So I think again, Abhika and CD team can help you initiating that POC, where you can even run one of your application and test it using Appnox. So yep, I'm more than happy to assist you on that, Martin.
All right. I think that's all for today.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Harrison. Thanks, Landry. It was wonderful speaking with you, both of you. And thanks, Abhika, for organizing this for everybody for us. It was wonderful. Thanks, everybody, for attending it. I hope it was helpful. And we will be in touch. Thanks. Take care, guys. Bye.
All right. Take care, everyone. We'll be ending this webinar now.